make sense of this man born blind who can finally see. But they accuse him of all sorts of things. They have different opinions about what happened. They try to shame him, or they accuse him of sinning, that's why he's blind, or maybe his parents sinned, that's why he's blind. Even the disciples are confused about this. Well, there is another group of people who dealt with someone who acted differently. This is from a tribe in Africa, the Bambemba tribe. What they would do is that any time someone from their tribe would not act rightly, say they did something wrong, or they were not acting with the norms of the tribe, instead of shunning him or blaming him, yelling at him, what members of the tribe would do is they would make a circle around him, and then one by one they would proceed to compliment the person in the middle, the man who made the offense. They would tell him stories of how he helped them. They would give him affirmations about his words that were really powerful for them. In a sense, what they were doing was to appreciate that person back into a better part of himself. The person is given the chance to remember who he is and why he is important to the life of the village. Well, during this time, there are many of us, as we deal with the spread of the virus, that we're blaming folks, we're shaming others and saying, this should have been done, why wasn't this in place? And many times what happens is we get caught in that same kind of thought pattern, that someone's to blame, that we've got to put the mark on somebody. Instead of recognizing that we as a community are invited to come together in support. In that second reading, Paul says we are called not to take part in fruitless works of darkness, but instead awake, arise from our dead attitudes. In a sense, we're called to, all of us, not stay in blindness, but to open our eyes and recognizing that there's something more important than fear that seems to be just pervasive in all our areas. But to recognize it's trust. To recognize even that with restrictions and limitations placed on all of us, we have something more to believe in. We have that trust and that hope. That indeed it's the power of the community to get us through this tough time. So I would invite, even nudge each of you to take this opportunity not just to isolate yourself and think of what you need and start hoarding things for yourself, but instead to start reaching out. Open your eyes to your neighbors, your fellow parishioners, to those most vulnerable in our society, especially the aged. Give them a phone call. Maybe perhaps send them a note. Somehow get in touch with them, whether it's email or voicemail, to tell them that they are not alone, that you are there to support them. In a sense, you are loving them back into community with us. There are a lot of people who are going to be experiencing hardships, and I know for all of you, this is going to be a tough time because we're not physically able to receive the Eucharist. But I say, you become Eucharist for others. You indeed reach out so other people don't feel so isolated. Indeed, I think the big problem with this virus is that it might separate us. But we have an opportunity to open our eyes and recognize that we're all called to trust, to love, to become better ourselves and reach out. As we deal with this virus as a faith community, indeed as a country and as a world, maybe it's up to you to live out our mission statement, to love God and go live the Eucharist.